Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabans. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a hell of a show in store for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. Now, this is a topic, this is a topic that I wanted to touch on before because I'd already seen this soundbite. Came out about 4 or 5 days ago, but for whatever reason, I forgot to get to it. So I was like, okay, I remember this is something that I wanted to discuss. So, as you guys know, Carmelo Anthony has his own podcast now, 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. Paul George has his own podcast as well. And recently, Carmelo visited Paul George's podcast, right? And he was there, and they were talking about his career and all of these different things. Then they get to the point where Paul George actually brings it up. He goes, so let's take us behind the scene with the infamous Banana Boat crew, Chris Paul, LeBron James, D Wade, and Carmelo. All of them used to be boys. They used to vacation a lot with each other throughout the summer. So he goes, take us behind the curtains of how the Miami Heat thing came together, and how were you how did you play a role in all? How were you connected to that entire scenario? Because if we think of the Heat big three, you think of LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh, right? But there were always these rumors of, well, it was supposed to be LeBron, D Wade, and Carmelo Anthony. Those had always been the rumors. I think I'd even heard Stephen A. Smith say that, but then they said Carmelo ended up taking more money, so he couldn't work out. Right? So I've heard that before. There's no real news there. But as Carmelo Anthony began to speak, he then begins to reveal that no, LeBron and these guys not only wanted LeBron, D Wade, and Carmelo, but they also envisioned a scenario where it would be a big four, where it would have been LeBron, D Wade, Chris Bosh, and Carmelo Anthony. And Carmelo basically reveals how he essentially had to turn LeBron and these guys down. Like, yo, man, I already got something going for myself. Like, can I see what I can do first before we start teaming up? And I was like, yo, wait a minute. These dudes try to pull off a big four? For those of you who don't believe that this is actually a thing, we want to play exactly what Carmelo Anthony had to say to Paul George now, and then we're going to come back and react to his comment. Take a listen to Carmelo Anthony here.
Man, we gotta ask about the infamous Banana Boat crew.
Oh, shit.
You, D Wade, Bron, CP. Was there any moment of y'all ever teaming up? Or was there conversations of y'all ever teaming up somewhere in the league? Between y'all,
Us four?
Yeah, y'all four.
Before the big three, the Miami big three,
Mm-hmm.
it was talks about me and Bron, because we were out of me, him, and D Wade. Like, it was me and him close, and D Wade was kind of like, and then it was like me and D Wade close, and then Bron and D Wade was close, but we never was like all three, locked in until we started going and getting old, you know what I mean? And then we had like experiences, played on the, world championship team. And I think that's when it kind of really started to like blossom. And I think it was because we lost together. We felt the same pain. We felt the same sentiment. So that brought us all three together. With Bron, it was always like, yo, we got to make it happen. Like, some way, somehow, the opportunity comes, let's make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
We just never knew where. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
we could around with each other, but where? And you going to New York? Like, I ain't going to Cleveland, nigga. Like, you coming to Denver? Like, I ain't going to Cleveland, chick. So it was just like, as friends and like competitors growing up together, it's like, yeah, we want to. I would love to play with PG on this team.
Right.
You know what I mean? Kel on this team. But that was always just like a what if of being Bron.
Right.
Then the conversation got serious after like 06, 07, 08 with the big three. So they were supposed to go, it was supposed to be Bosh and Wade, and then me and Bron, like going somewhere. We just couldn't find out where. And we wanted it to be New York.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Somewhere. Or Chicago. Chicago was in the fold.
Okay. With you and Bron?
Me and Bron. But I was like, if we gonna find a place, then let it be go to Chicago. Like, I'm in Denver, you in Cleveland, free agency hit, let's try to make it work.
They couldn't make that happen.
I didn't know at the time of the collective bargaining agreement, again, I wasn't as educated on the game, on the business of the game, on the business of the sport. So I didn't understand contracts and 3 years, 5 years, you know what I mean? That lockout. I knew a little bit, but I wasn't really business savvy enough to understand what was about to happen. So in my situation, I was in Denver. We was in the playoffs every year. We was 50 plus wins. Like we was building something in Denver. So I didn't want to leave. So why take a 3-year deal? No, I'm locked into this 5-year deal. And it was like 5 years, like, I don't know, 85, some shit like that.
Right.
And I got ridiculed for taking a 5-year deal. Like, what? You know where the come from? I'm not leaving no money on the table. Right. This was me at that, at that age. Like, right. I'm not leaving no money on the table. Yeah. I'm happy. I'm winning. I'm in Denver. We building something. Right. We got new powder blue uniforms. Like, we popping out here. That's right. So I don't want to leave this to go do something that I might regret later down the line. And also at that time, I wasn't ready to go partner and team up with nobody because I was building my own in Denver. So to leave my own team up with somebody, it wouldn't have worked because we were all young and and we all going down our own path. So I'm over here. Like, whatever y'all gonna do, y'all gonna do. So I get the call when they say, it's a lockout. Lockout's coming. We taking a 3-year deal. Right? So let me think about that. Hit y'all back, man. Hit y'all back. Call my agent at the time, which was, I think I was with Bill Duffy at the time and Calvin Andrews. And I'm like, 3-year deal. Bro, it's no conversation. I'm staying. I'm taking a 5-year 85. I'm staying in Denver. I'm happy, boom, boom. So they was trying to finagle how to make that work. And then it was like, I think one of them had to take like 16 and the other one 17 and the other one like, you know what I mean? Like all of them had to really sacrifice, which I take my hat off to them for doing that because that's hard as to leave at that point in time in your career, young like that. We always at the top of the game. Right. And just say all of that and come together, like nobody was thinking about that. So when they did it, it just made everybody like, oh, Melo, you could have been the fourth one. Now, and I'm going to keep it a buck. Imagine me at 23 years old, 24 years old, being the fourth option on the team when I'm leading my team every single year. Like I'm finding my way in this league.
Right.
And you want me to leave that and go be a fourth option.
Yeah.
I don't know mentally how I was going to be ready for that.
So let me get this straight. These dudes wanted to form a team, a starting 5 that consisted of LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, and Chris Bosh. What? Shaggy, what? Scooby. Y'all wanted to do what? Let me tell you something. The decision was already viewed as one of the weakest moves in the history of sports. The decision. Y'all try to put it on KD. Like he had to, KD's move was pretty weak too. Don't get it twisted. But he took what LeBron and these guys did in Miami and just pretty much just took it to the second power. He was like, all right, we're going to amplify this thing here. But don't get it twisted. The hate that the Miami Heat received for pulling off that move was deafening. Everybody hated the Miami Heat. The only people that liked the Miami Heat during that period were Miami Heat fans. Apart from that, nobody liked that. Nobody wanted to see them win. And I remember when they lost in the 2011 final. Y'all may not remember. That team was obnoxious. I remember when they were saying Dirk Nowitzki had like a cold, he was dealing with a flu or something like that. And I remember when Dwayne Wade was walking down the hallway trying to like basically poking fun of Dirk Nowitzki, like it's cold. He was like, and then LeBron over there, yeah, you feel something? I got this. Is what they were doing. These dudes, they were the most nauseating team in the entire NBA because of what they pulled off. Like it was bad, and when they lost, everybody was happy. Everybody was happy that team lost. So to now think that not only were they trying to pull that off, they were also trying to add Carmelo Anthony to the mix. These are all young bulls, entering their prime, whatever you want to call it. They're in their mid-20s, in the heat of it. And they were trying to form a big four? A big four? To do what? Okay, we're going to go off and we're going to win a bunch of championships. And at the end of that, somebody's supposed to be looking at y'all like, y'all are what? Like, oh, this dude, the next coming to Michael Jordan, or this dude over. Like that. Nobody wasn't going to think that. Number one. And number two, Carmelo says something that I think a lot of us thought like, yo, but I'm already the man. So why do I need to go be under somebody else? I can understand if Carmelo and LeBron team together, and trust me, that in itself would have been a cheat code. But we had seen things similar to that with maybe a Kobe and Shaq. We had seen that. But we had not seen, so basically on that team, you would have had 3 players that would have led the league in scoring in LeBron James, D Wade, and Carmelo Anthony, plus a 20-something and 22 and 10 or 22 and 11 guy in Chris Bosh. And that's good for basketball? This why Charles Barkley said on All In, you want everybody. Do you want everybody? They trying to collect these dudes like Infinity Stones. They need everybody. They ain't got, let me tell you something. If they had done that, they already get ridiculed for those rings. And here's what's crazy about all of that. Here's what's crazy about that Miami Heat Big 3 or Big 4, whatever the hell you want to call it. Do you guys realize that the only person that really walked away from that entire situation with it being kind of added toward his legacy is LeBron? Do you realize that? Do you realize at the end of all of this, almost nobody gives Dwayne Wade any respect? Do you guys realize that? Do you guys realize that nobody ever really talks about Chris Bosh and what he contributed? It's all about what LeBron did. All about it. LeBron fans don't even bring up D Wade. They don't even mention him anywhere. It's like some dude that just existed somewhere. The only person that came out of that looking decent, I mean, LeBron did look bad, but in terms of we're going to add it to his career, is LeBron. Nobody even talks about D Wade. Nobody. Bro, man. Well, guess what? I'm a hater for pointing this out. That's what I am. I'm the hater for pointing this out. Something that nobody anywhere or in big media will talk about. Nobody. Because it's all clicks. You know when I found out it was all clicks in big media? You know when I found that out? That these dudes, they playing a game. They up in arms. They not up in arms about everything. Ain't like that. Ain't like that. I figured out it was a click when Gilbert Arenas recently made those comments. Now, we're not going to do another show on it because we made our opinions clear on it. And Gil was on the show, so it was nothing malicious, but we're like, bro, that wasn't it right there. You know when I realized it was a click? Do you realize that no big voice spoke on that, what Gilbert Arenas said? You notice Shannon Sharp didn't say nothing about it? Chad Johnson didn't say nothing about it? Stephen A. Smith didn't say nothing about it. They didn't even talk about it anywhere on TV. Because Gil part of the in-group. Them dudes ain't say nothing about it. But had that been somebody else, oh, this guy, so-and-so person said that over there. So-and-so person said that over there. Oh, let's run over there and start hollering. That's when I thought, all right. Even Marcellus Wiley, who's cool with Gilbert Arenas, and he said he's cool with him. He spoke on it. Even he had the balls to talk on it. None of these, and I'm not saying, but we can see what it is. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, Please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We'll catch you on the next show. Peace.